The numbers told the story right away. 500 units of marine equipment sourced and delivered back to Thoreau City. Not one run, not two, at least 5. Enough repetition to wear down enthusiasm and expose habits you didn't know you had. This wasn't a job meant to be rushed or admired. It was meant to be carried one load at a time until the work itself said you were done. Some time had passed since Finch. Not just a few flights, but enough runs that the quiet ones started blending together. Long super cruises, familiar stations, contracts completed without incident. I flew them the way Elias taught me, letting patience set the pace instead of urgency. Somewhere along the way, the lessons stopped feeling like things I was recalling and started feeling like things I relied on. I flew those runs the way Elias taught me too, steady, deliberate, letting patience set the pace instead of urgency. He always said that speed makes noise, but consistency leaves a trace. Somewhere along the way, his lessons stopped feeling like things I was recalling and started feeling like things I relied on without thinking about it. Standing there in the hangar, thinking about the contract, I realized this job wasn't asking for skill. It was asking for commitment. 5 runs meant 5 chances to rush, 5 chances to convince myself that shaving time mattered more than doing it right. I hadn't accepted the contract yet, but I already knew the real decision wasn't about cargo. It was about whether I was willing to fly the way he taught me, even when no one was watching. Second measure waited in the hangar, power down but ready. She didn't feel like a ship I operated anymore. She felt like something I trusted. Looking at the station and thinking to myself how far mankind has advanced, and how sometimes mankind that made these wonders could ruin the very kind that helped create them, it didn't feel like coincidence that it brought me back here. It felt deliberate, like the work had been waiting. The first run always starts before the ship moves. Sitting in the cockpit, beginning my flight checks, I reminded myself this wasn't about getting airborne quickly. 500 units meant repetition, and repetition punishes impatience. The way you begin becomes the way you finish, and I wasn't willing to let haste define the rest of the job. I took one last look at the systems, making sure second measure was ready, but more importantly, that I myself was prepared to embark on this mission. This wasn't a sprint. It was a pattern I was about to repeat.
Ship restraints withdrawn. Restrict speed until clear of the station perimeter.
We will be forced to respond to the investigations. For peace of mind, please stow ship weapons whilst inside the docking bay.
When the hangar doors opened, second measure eased forward without hesitation. Departure was clean, controlled, and unremarkable in the best way. I let Thoreau City fall away at its own pace, resisting the urge to push just because space had opened in front of me. The jump toward BC City settled into a long, steady transit. Distance closed slowly, giving me time to think instead of react. I let the nav data resolve fully before committing to the approach, watching the system come into focus piece by piece. Coleman ring appeared ahead, practical and familiar, built for the kind of work like this, and nothing more. They loaded her with 144 units of marine equipment, and we headed back to deliver the first run.
Frame shift drive charging.
On the very first return run, space became crowded without warning. The interdiction alert hit hard and fast, collapsing routine into instinct in a heartbeat. A pirate had picked me up on the return leg, cargo full and distance still to go. The pirate betting that the pressure would have me make a miscalculated decision. For a moment, I looked at the cargo hold numbers and tried not to let blind reaction take control. Boost blindly. Fight when escape would be cleaner. Do something, anything. Just to break the tension. That was always the trap, Elias' voice whispered in my head, reminding me in a calm and unwavering voice, don't rush the solution. I held the line and counted the pull, keeping my inputs measured instead of desperate. Second measure responded exactly the way she was built. Steady and predictable when everything else wanted to turn sharp, the tether strained, fought back. And then finally broke. Space opened again, widening and indifferent. Like nothing had happened at all. For a few seconds, I didn't move. I let the ship settle, let the instruments stabilize, let my breathing catch up with the moment. That silence after danger always feels heavier than the danger itself. Not relief, not fear, just awareness. As the route came back into focus, I realized something else had changed. I wasn't angry with the interruption. I wasn't shaken. I was confident. The work went on, exactly as it had before. Cargo still aboard, distance ahead. There was nothing about the mission that had been changed by the encounter. No damage, no pursuit. Just distance growing quietly behind me, the kind of distance that only exists when you choose patience over panic. Elias used to say that surviving isn't about being faster than the threat. It's about refusing to let the threat decide who you are while it's happening. This was the difference Elias always tried to teach me. Anyone can react once and call it instinct. Discipline is what carries you through the quiet moments afterward, when there's no one watching and nothing forcing your hand. I had done what Elias taught me. I had adjusted course, I had verified the route, and let second measure settle back into cruise. This time more aware of the scanner and what lay ahead. As I dropped into Thoreau City, the thought of the pirate was already forgotten. But the lesson stayed.
Lincoln Uniform November Bravo. Please approach the station at a safe speed and be mindful of other pilots in the area. landing on docking bay 40.
The remaining runs passed without incident, but not without meaning. Repetition sharpened my attention instead of dulling it. Familiar routes became clearer, not simpler. I started watching the ships moving alongside me more closely, who accelerated early, who waited, who rushed, who treated space like something to conquer instead of something to move through. Between runs, the mission began to feel important in a way I hadn't expected. Not because of the credits waiting at the end, but because of what it demanded. 5 runs meant 5 chances to hurry. 5 chances to cut corners where no one would have noticed. Each time, patience held. Not out of effort, but out of habit. By the 4th run, I wasn't counting trips anymore. I was counting consistency. The work stopped feeling repetitive and started feeling intentional. This wasn't about marine equipment anymore. It was about staying the course long enough for purpose to reveal itself.
Commence pre-flight checklist, Commander. Scheduling departure now.
This is an important announcement. Security surveillance.
Landing gear deployed.
Landing complete. Commence system shutdown. Report to station services for more information, Commander.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Lincoln, Uniform November Bravo. Please approach the station at a safe speed and be mindful of other pilots in the area.
The final delivery brought the manifest to completion. 500 units delivered. 1 point per million credits transferred. The numbers confirmed the work was done. But the stark realization of what I needed to do next, that purpose finally revealed itself. I shut second measure down in the hangar at Thoreau City and sat in the cockpit longer than I needed. I listened to the systems shut down. This mission hadn't given me urgency. It hadn't given me momentum. It had given me direction. I wasn't flying just to remember Elias anymore. I was flying to find him. I had finally found my purpose. I was going to use every manner he taught me, every contact he ever introduced to me, and find the ones he didn't to help me find him. And that's just what I'm going to do. Find him.